These plantain and pinto bean empanadas are plant-based, dynamic in flavor, gluten-free, and just right to prepare on the weekends, to have as an appetizer, to have as an add-on to a salad or soup for lunch, or what I like to call a super snack. Welcome again to the Creative Phoebe Cooks channel. I'm your host, Phoebe, and let's get right to making this gorgeous empanadas by cooking the beans first. I have here some pinto beans that have been soaking overnight, which softens the beans and helps them cook quicker. Be sure to sort through them first to pick out any stones or broken pieces before soaking them in a large bowl or pot with lots of fresh water. After soaking, drain out the water, rinse the beans with fresh water, then add the washed and drained pinto beans to a large stock pot together with about 1.2 liters of water. Then bring to a boil on high heat. It will take about 40 minutes until the beans are completely cooked and softened. And what I like about this empanada recipe is that you can make it in parts so that you don't spend a whole day making empanadas. Now while the empanadas are cooking, I'm going to preserve some lime juice. Like herbs and spices, I have a habit of buying seasoning agents like key limes in bulk to reduce my trips to the grocery store. Can you relate? But after a while, they turn from green to yellow like these ones, and the juice starts to taste bitter, which can be unpleasant depending on what I'm pairing it with. I'll say a little bit more on it after checking on the beans. They've come to a vigorous boil for about 10 to 15 minutes. Open the pot and slightly cover the pot at a slant, making sure to leave some breathing room so the boiling liquid does not overflow, because I need some of that boiling liquid for later on in the recipe. Back to the key limes. Now you can use the juice to make salsas like the tomato salsa I made for the breakfast tacos that I shared a few weeks ago. You can also use the juice to season your meats, fish, poultry, or use it to make ginger lime tea, as long as the taste isn't off-putting. Now, as long as the juicing process is clean and sterile, the juice can remain in the fridge for up to a month, and over time it will develop a fermented scent, which is not alarming. The pinto beans are done cooking. Drain them and save them, then reserve the boiling liquid that the beans cooked in another container for later use. You can also use this method to preserve lemon juice, or let the limes turn brown until they're dried, which you can use to make soups and stews. In fact, there are many cultures that cook with dried limes. For example, there is a well-known Persian recipe called gourmet zabzi, which is cooked with dried limes, and it is a very tasty and a nutritious meal. Tell me, have you had this dish before? Let us know in the comment section below. Also, let us know in the comment section on your true and tried method of preserving limes and lemons or similar produce. Alright, time to make the empanada filling, and it comes together quickly. But if you're loving this video, please do me a favor. Pause and give it a huge thumbs up. And while you're doing that, share this link with all your loved ones so you all can bond over making empanadas for the week. Thank you so much. Prepare the aromatics, which include the onions, garlic, and ginger, then set them aside. Next, peel the plantains. I'm using a green and a ripe plantain together to balance the flavors. After peeling them, cut each one into half-inch cube-sized pieces and separate them into separate containers. The unripe one aside, which is the green plantain, and the ripe one aside. If you need a shopping tip on how to pick the best plantain when you go to the grocery store, be sure to check out the link in the description box below. Measure out all the spices by putting together these spices, which include Himalayan salt, ground black pepper, ground allspice, ground cinnamon, ground cardamom, as well as a nice stash of fresh thyme sprigs. If you'd like to make your own cinnamon powder at home, I have a link for that in one of the info cards connected to this video. On medium heat, add in 3 tablespoons of avocado oil or your favorite natural cooking oil of choice to a cast iron skillet, and add in the cubed green plantains to fry for 2 to 3 minutes. Then add in the ripe plantains to fry for 2 minutes together with the green plantains. Now you'll find that the ripe plantains tend to turn softer or to mush while cooking, and you know what? That's perfectly fine. Now when the plantains is slightly golden, if you're like me, let's be efficient and move it to one side of the cast iron skillet. Then to the other side, add in the onions, garlic, ginger, and spice combination. This means less washing of dishes. Slightly offset the skillet on the stove so that the heat focuses on cooking the aromatics. Take for about 5 to 7 minutes until the aromatics are slightly translucent, lightly browned, and extremely fragrant. Add the plantains to the aromatics, add in the pinto beans, and then 205 mils of pinto bean stock liquid that I saved after cooking the beans. Paste to adjust the seasoning. And then after that, store the filling in a container until it cools down completely before forming empanadas. I'm making a gluten-free empanada dough, which is a combination of masa harina, cassava flour, avocado oil, psyllium husk, baking powder, and Himalayan salt. Whisk these elements until the dry mixture turns crumbly and sandy due to the avocado oil content. Then add in water and combine well using a wooden spoon until you form a shabby dough. It may look like the water wasn't enough, but trust me, we're going to work it and make it work. Dust your work surface with some masa flour, then transfer the dough to the work surface and knead it for 2 to 3 minutes. Form a dough and store it in a bowl, cover with a lid, or wrap and allow to rest for 15 to 20 minutes. I have a feeling this is a similar method to making the dough to make gorditas. I'll be making that very soon, so be sure to watch out for that recipe. Now, after forming the dough and letting it rest, divide the dough into 16 to 18 pieces and form each one into a ball. Now, if you're looking for precision, each ball of dough weighs about 70 to 75 grams. It could vary depending on how big or small you want your empanadas. Now, to assemble your empanadas, flatten each piece of dough using a tortilla press. You do not want it to be too thin, neither do you want it to be too thick. If you do not have a tortilla press, place a piece of dough in the middle of a large sandwich bag and use a flat bottom plate or a round baking tin with a flat bottom to press the dough flat until it measures 6 inches in diameter. Now, once you've done that, place about a spoonful of the cooled filling that we made earlier, which is the plantain and pinto bean filling. Place that in the lower center of the flattened dough and flap one side of the dough over the filling so that edges touch. Then seal the edges together well using your fingers, or if you want to be extra elegant, use a fork to decorate the edges by lightly imprinting the pattern of the fork prongs. Repeat the process for the remaining balls of dough and filling. Now lay each empanada on a parchment-lined baking sheet and bake for 30 to 35 minutes until the edges of the empanadas turn golden. Now, if you're similar to me and desire to give these empanadas an elevated look, especially after the baking process, brush an oil, honey, and water mixture on each empanada, then garnish each one with fresh thyme leaves and bake as normal. And voila, you see my happy face. Let the empanadas cool down a bit for 5 minutes, then serve them as an appetizer, a super snack, or as an add-on to a lunch meal together with your favorite beverage. I have sorrel juice here, which is also known as red hibiscus juice. Now these empanadas are crispy on the outside and piping hot on the inside, so you don't want to wait a few minutes before biting on them. They go by pretty quickly, so if you love them, aim to make a big batch of these and keep the rest of them in the freezer so they don't go bad. Now save this recipe so that next time you have plantains and pinto beans on hand, you know to make these gorgeous empanadas without any hesitation. I can't wait to hear how these empanadas turned out for you, and let me know your biggest takeaway from this video. Creative Cooks, thank you so much for watching. I'm your host, Phoebian, and we'll chat again in my next episode. Later, and happy weekend.